afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our school chapel for this, our Upper Sixth virtual Leavers service. It's obviously a great pity that the chapel stands before me empty, and then we're going to have to content ourselves with offering you a pre-recorded version. But I hope as you watch this video, whilst you will not be with us in person, you will certainly be with us in spirit. These services are always a great opportunity for us to look back, to reflect on your time at Truro School. And also, I think, a moment for hope and optimism about what is to come as you head for pastures new. Also, importantly, as we gather in the chapel, we do so in a spirit of gratitude. Gratitude for the friendships that you've made, for the opportunities you've had, the many opportunities to contribute to school life, and also for the generosity of others who may have influenced or affected your time at Truro School in so many ways. So let this Leavers service today be one of celebration. My job as headmaster has many facets, but when you think about it, it's primarily about culture, nurturing a great school culture. Put simply, that means the way we do things around here. Trying to influence the climate of what it feels like to be at Truro School. If you like, setting the tone. The things that have really mattered to me at Truro School is that we're a real beacon of excellence in all that we do. But underpinning this excellence is an attitude that we bring to our endeavours. A culture of kindness, of unpretentiousness, of inclusivity. In truth, you guys, as my upper sixth cohort of Leavers, have been a dream cohort for a headmaster in his own final year at school. You have been a beacon of excellence. What do I mean? Well, as I talk to you now, I want you to think about the individuals in your year group. Try and visualize them. Although you missed the chance to stamp your authority on your final exams, you're on track to achieve really excellent A-level results. You are a group of academic high flyers. Think about the amazing musicians in your year group, singers and players. Think about those in your year group who have been outdoor enthusiasts from the very beginning. Think about, at both an individual and team level, about how many great sportsmen and women are in your group. What about art and drama? Think about how much creative brilliance there is among you. And what about the sensational amount of charitable work that's gone on in your year group? If you're a boarder, think about just what a happy family atmosphere there's been in the house this year. And think about the culinary expertise that exists among you, the finest cooks ever to leave Truro School. So, your year group has a remarkable combination of talents, but also humility, social conscience, compassion for others. When you meet people in years to come who've achieved truly impressive things, often you will notice that what sets them apart is their genuine humility. They don't shout about their success. They wear their greatness lightly. They don't seek to claim all the credit. I predict that in years to come, we'll be saying that about many of you. Your group has already so many of those fine qualities. Truro School has been a happy and purposeful place this year. And the things you have achieved, the role models you've been, and how you've gone about your business has contributed massively to this. Whatever the future holds, you leave with my gratitude and very best wishes for what I know will be a bright and rewarding future. I'm now going to hand over to Maisie Vincent, our Upper Sixth Chapel steward, who will call us to worship. Maisie.
Our call to worship is from Psalm 139. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high that I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirits? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely darkness shall cover me, and the light around me become night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for darkness is as light to you. For it was you who formed my inward parts, who knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, that I know very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my unformed substance. In your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them as yet existed. How weightlessly are your thoughts, O God? How fast is the sum of them? I try to count them. They are more than the sand. I come to the end. I am still with you.
Good afternoon, and can I echo the headmaster's welcome to the service, wherever you are in the world. Can I thank Maisie for doing that call to worship? She's been my chapel steward for 7 years. We're reluctant to let her go, actually, but thank you to Maisie. And now we're going to sing the hymn, Be Thou My Vision, O Lord of my heart.
Thank
Now let us pray. O God of all beginnings and endings, we praise and thank you for the opportunities enjoyed in the life of this school. We remember the challenges and opportunities, joys and sorrows. Looking back, it seems that the days have passed quickly. The weeks, the months, the seasons, half-terms and holidays. The coursework, excursions, chapel services and assemblies, all have come and gone. Recognised or unrecognised, you have been at work in our lives each day, the unseen parent and friend, supporting and undergirding all the activities in the life of the school. And even today, you draw us together as a community in the service, wherever we are in the world. You bind us together through your Spirit. As we reflect on and give thanks for what has passed, celebrate together and pray for strength for present and future challenges, may the words that are spoken today and the thoughts that pass through our minds be acceptable to you, our strength and Redeemer. We join together in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, I have to say how much I've missed seeing you, all of you, over the last few weeks. Being a remote head of sixth form is no easy task. The bit that I love about my job is the daily interaction with you, sharing laughs, seeing you interacting with each other, relaxing in between lessons, and generally being pretty noisy. The feel of the sixth form is down to you. I've just walked over from a very quiet, very empty sixth form centre. The building is nothing without you. I really had been looking forward to this day, to formally celebrate the last day in the usual way. We had lots planned to send you off from the start, but sadly, that's not to be the case this year. However, we tried our best to put together something to bookmark the end of your sixth form education. It's a hard feeling to describe, not being able to see your faces out in front of me. We'd even talked about printing your faces off and putting them on the pews. Knowing each of your stories, where you come from, and your journey to this point, and where you're heading to next. Being your head of sixth form is an immense pleasure, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And the reason it's been such a pleasure is purely down to you. You are what makes the sixth form so great. Each and every one of you is unique and brings a special something to the school. I know it seems your life in sixth form really flies by in the blink of an eye, but you really have grown over the last 2 years. Most of the sixth form boys are taller than me. Some are probably taller than me in the first year, to be honest. And a few of the girls are too. But when I mean grown, it's grown emotionally. So having been at school for a grand total of 3 years now, and as head of sixth form for 2, I can confidently say that you're definitely in the top 2 best sets of upper sixth I've ever had the pleasure to lead. The cynics out there could easily say that you're in the same way in the worst 2, but I'm very much a glass half full kind of person. So let's go with one of the best 2. I'm not sure how many years I'll be able to venture. I'm not sure if you know the origin of the banner behind us. As far as I understand it, the material came from the teachers of the school. Each donating a shirt, and then sewing was done by members of staff. There are a lot of people that have got you to this point in your school career, your parents, your friends, and more importantly, your teachers, who, as this banner quite literally chose, would give you the shirts off their backs. Who do you have to thank for getting you to this point? It could be a teacher that's always offered support and inspiration, whether it's been during your A-levels or further down school. Your tutor, your friends, your parents, all have played a part in getting you to this point. So at some point, please remember to say thank you to whoever's helped you on your journey thus far. This is a big day for you as well as your parents. Normally, at this point, I mention your up-and-coming exams and how worried you must be about them. But there's nothing to be anxious about there. No exams to sit this year. Instead, this has been replaced by the whole new world of teacher-assessed grades. And I know there have been a fair few students and teachers alike losing sleep over how this is going to work out. So anxiousness nonetheless related to grading for all concerned. For some of you may also be worrying about what you're going to study next, or where you're going to be going, what university you'll be like. Will you be able to cope on your own? Will you manage to cook and clean for yourself? I expect your parents are slightly more anxious about that one. What will your friends be like? How awesome will your gap year be? Will you be able to have one? However you are feeling, I can assure you your parents are right there beside you, with the same worries and a few more to boot. But also with bucket loads of pride, seeing the amazing individuals you've grown into. A common theme I've noticed over the last couple of years when discussing your academic performance of sixth formers with various members of staff. Yes, we do talk about it behind your backs all the time, some more than others. Usually we're discussing the amount of work you have or have not done, or how stressed you are, but more often than not, teachers constantly comment on how impressed they are by the person you've grown into being, rather than the grades you attain. I know it may appear that at times we're all about exams and grades, but I've been told countless times by staff that if their children grew into half the people you are, they'd be so pleased. That is a true measure of success. This is the first small step in your journey, although it may feel like a big one regardless of your grades you get out. The amazing individual you've become is your biggest success and attribute. Being a teacher to students for over 17 years has given me an inflated sense of self-importance and the right to bestow my advice upon you. And it's not that I know more than you, it's just I've made more mistakes than you. Some of you will listen to my advice, some won't. Some will get it right first time, some, like me, will need to learn from their mistakes. But all of this is part of life's rich tapestry. You are moulded by your highs and lows in life, but neither one nor the other should define you as a person. As a teacher, I know there's various levels of listening. Sometimes it's been silence. There's been a lot of silence in my Microsoft Teams lessons. Occasionally looking at me, more often than not, staring at me blankly, trying not to fall asleep or lose the will to live. Even with those realisms, it's given me that sense of self-importance to bestow my advice upon you. So I've got a captured audience. Who knows, maybe nobody's out there and I'm just talking into the void at the moment. But for now, I've got the lectern and strap in your seatbelts, prick up your ears and listen to what I have to say. A lot of you won't necessarily remember my ramblings in years, months, or more likely even minutes to come. But what you will remember about this time of your life when you look back is the feeling that you had. Hold on to that feeling of excitement and trepidation. So let's get started. At the ripe old age of 40, yes 40, I was 39 last year obviously, but I got a comment after my speech from a parent. They thought I was much younger. So I was very pleased and I'm going to hold on to that one. Although I'm pretty old on the inside, definitely feeling much older over the last 12 weeks. I really miss my sleep. Anyway, this is not about me, it's all about you lovely people. So I've decided to bestow upon you my 9 lessons. Yes, 9 lessons and carols, but I won't sing. No repeating style panto, so no 9 lessons and carols, no carols, here we go. Number 1, you don't have to have a dream. Americans on talent shows always talk about their dreams. Fine if you've got something you always wanted to do. Something in your heart you really wanted to do, then just go for it. After all, it's something to do with your time, chasing a dream. And if it's big enough, one that will take most of your life to achieve. I've never had one of those dreams, so I advocate passionate dedication to the pursuit of short-term goals. Set yourself a goal and enjoy the journey to it. Life is more about the journey rather than the destination. So be micro-ambitious. Put your head down and work with pride on whatever is in front of you. You never know where you might end up. Just be aware that the next worthy pursuit will just probably appear in your periphery. Which is why you should be careful with long-term dreams. If you focus too far in front of you, you won't see the shiny thing out the corner of your eye. Right, good. Advice metaphor. Number 2, happiness is non-negotiable. Don't seek happiness, keep busy and aim to make someone else happy. You might find you get some as a side effect. We didn't evolve to be constantly happy. I'm not saying you should be always happy. Life is tough, full of ups and downs. But if you don't feel happy for a long period of time, then do something about it. Don't feel it's your lot in life. It's never too late to reinvent yourself And if you're feeling unhappy, tell someone. If they truly care about you, they will fall over themselves to try and make you happy. And if they don't, well, maybe they're not the friends that they were. Number 3, remember, it's all about luck. You're lucky to be here. You're incredibly lucky to be born, incredibly lucky to be brought up by a nice family who encouraged you through your school career. Or if you didn't have the same start in life, then that's unlucky, and you have my sympathy, but you're still lucky. Lucky that you happen to be made of the sort of DNA that went on to make the sort of brain which placed in a difficult environment and make decisions that meant you ended up eventually doing well in school. Well done for dragging yourself up by your shoelaces, but you were lucky. You didn't create the bit of you that dragged you up. I suppose I worked hard to achieve whatever dubious achievements I had, but I didn't make the bit of me that works hard, any more than I made the bit of me that went to sleep at the back of lectures when I was at university, or went surfing instead. Understand that you can't truly take credit for your successes, nor truly blame others for their failures. This will humble you and make you more compassionate. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much, or berate yourself too much either. Your choices are half chances, so are everybody else's. Number 4, exercise. Play sport, do yoga, pump iron, dance when nobody's watching. Let's be honest, no one is at the moment. Whatever you do, take care of your body. You're going to need it. Most of you will live to be nearly 100, and even the poorest of you will achieve a level of wealth that most humans throughout history could not have dreamed of. And this long, luxurious life of you ahead of you will take its toll. But don't despair. There's a correlation between happiness and exercise. Do it, run, my beautiful people. Number 5, be hard on your opinions. A famous saying asserts that opinions are like bottoms, and everybody has one. There is great wisdom in this, while I would add that opinions differ slightly from bottoms, in that yours should be constantly and thoroughly examined. We must think critically, not just about the ideas of others. Be hard on your beliefs. Take them outside, smash them about a bit, be intellectually rigorous. Identify your biases, your prejudices, and your privileges. Number 6, be a teacher. Please, be a teacher. Teach the most admirable and important people in the world. You don't have to do it forever. If you're in doubt what you want to do, be an amazing teacher. Just do it for your 20s, be a teacher. It's the most rewarding job ever, and holidays are great. Even if you're not a teacher, be a teacher. Share your ideas. Don't take your education for granted. Rejoice in what you've learned and share it. Who knows, there may never be another lockdown, and at some point you'll have to be at home schooling your own kids. I think there's a lot of parents out there that have newfound respect for those teachers that inspire and work with their kids. I, for one, have a lot of admiration for my kids' primary teachers. Teaching your own kids is tough. Teaching you one is a breeze in comparison. No one listens to me at home. Number 7, define yourself by what you love. Be a lover, not a hater. We see the opposite all the time online. People whose idea of being part of a subculture is to hate Coldplay or football, the Kardashians or Donald Trump, even how difficult it makes us not to find fault in it. We have a tendency to find ourselves by our opposition to stuff. But try to also express your passion for the things you love. Be generous of your praise of those you admire. Give standing ovations. Send thank you cards. In my case, I have a wife that has great correspondence and does them for you and signs your name. Be pro-stuff, not anti-stuff. Like I said, be a lover, not a hater. Number 8, be kind. Respect people with less power than you. I've in the past made important decisions about the people I've met and worked with. Big decisions largely based on how they treat a waiter or waitress in restaurants. Remember our school motto, est cum vedere, to be, not to seem to be. Yeah, I managed to get that one in there just one last time. You are judged on your actions, not just on what you say. There are lots of people who will say the right thing, but the best people are the ones that do the right thing. Be a doer. As my wife says, and she's a reception teacher, the most important thing is to be kind. And I think this is an important lesson for someone starting their education or finishing school. If everyone was a bit kinder, the world would be a much better place. Number 9, call your mum. More than I did when I went to university. Once a term apparently is not enough, especially towards the end of the first one. Otherwise, you're faced there, sorry, who are you? I used to have a son called Ross once. When you finally do call home, As my mum knows, I'm still working on that, which reminds me I need to call her tonight. Sometimes the advice you give other people is the advice you need to follow. Number 10, I've actually done 10 and 11, no carols, but I thought of a couple more on the way in today. Work outside your comfort zone. Try things that scare you. You never know where you'll end up. Remember, you miss 100 shots instead of the shots you don't take. Never be afraid to try something new, because life gets boring when you stay within the limits of what you already know. Finally, don't rush. You don't need to know what you're going to do with the rest of your life. I'm not saying sit around and watch the series on Netflix all day long, though I think for a few of you may have been doing that a lot recently. But don't panic. Most people I know who are sure that they're in their 20s are having midlife crises now. Life will sometimes seem long and tough. My goodness, it's tiring, especially when you've got young kids. And you'll sometimes be happy, and sometimes you'll be sad. There's only one sensible thing to do with this life of yours, and that's fill it. Fill it with as many things as possible. In my opinion, life's best filled with learning as much as you can, about as much as you can. Taking pride in whatever you do, being compassionate, sharing ideas, running, being enthusiastic, and then there's love, travel, wine, sex, art, kids, mountain climbing, but you already know that stuff. It's incredibly exciting, this one life and enjoy it. I can honestly say, on behalf of Mrs. Judd, Mrs. Reynolds, Mrs. Shaw, Miss Kendra, and Miss Collins, and the lovely sixth form tutors, the boarding houses, and all the staff that taught and nurtured you, that it's been a real privilege to know and work alongside you. I think Ferris Bueller said it best, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop once in a while, you could miss it. You haven't seen that film, look it up, it's an old one. So enjoy today, tomorrow, and the rest of your life. It's all about you, you deserve it. Look around, cherish these moments, and the friends you've made, and the experiences you've had. Good luck in your next steps. Thank you for indulging me.
My head is
online lessons and carols. We appreciate what you've said. And now we're going to hear some reflections from two leavers. Firstly, Lily Holdsworth and then Cody Brooks.
Hello, I hope you're well and in managing to fill your days with lovely things. I've been at Truro School for 9 years. This is a photo of me on my first day in year 5. School bag, sports bag, nearly the size of me. Very excited to start. So I've been at the school for half of my life, and I'd really like to recollect on my time and my thoughts towards the current situation and the future. For me, the last 10 years have moved in stages. There was starting prep school and then finishing prep school feeling I'm ready to take on the world, I know everything, I'm grown up. And then starting again in first year and realising how small I was and how much I needed to learn. Then we went through the school and we managed to all do our GCSEs, which was quite a hurdle, continually being told it was a marathon, and it really was. And then we started sixth form, which is where we all came together. Even though I'd had 4 brothers go through sixth form and they had told me all about their experiences and the opportunities they had and how much they loved it, looking back now, I think nothing I'd heard was actually representative of what my experience was like. And I think that's because one of the best things about sixth form is that there's no one experience, there's no one right way to go through. There is simply the opportunity to flourish in the direction you would like to go. You get to choose the subjects you study, you develop the relationships with your teachers and your friendships with your mates and the clubs you join. Everything is down to your just doing, and that's the pleasure of it, really. It's such a unique opportunity to just explore what you're interested in and just expand on that, and also take the time to really enjoy being in a really safe and supportive environment and take risks and know that you have someone who will be able to, you'll be able to fall back on them. I think I've always been grateful that I stayed on at the sixth form. I think it's the best decision I have made, but I really think now, looking back and having this time to really pause, has allowed me to appreciate just how incredible the last 2 years have been and how much we have accomplished together. When I found out our A-levels were cancelled, one of the thoughts that came into my head, amongst others, was, have what we just done for the last 2 years been wasted? What was it for if we're not being examined? Speaking to some of you, you also had these thoughts and perhaps still do. But I would like to reassure you and tell you that of course it wasn't wasted. Of course all we have learned is going to be useful and we're going to take that forward to our next step. I think it's important to remember that we didn't know that our time was going to be cut so short, and we didn't know this was how our time was going to end. And although that's obvious, I think it's really important as we look back, we don't let how our time ended affect how the whole experience was. We shouldn't let it define the 2 years of incredible experiences and happy memories that we will take forward into the future. I also feel actually that more than anything, not that we're not going to be less prepared than the year groups before us. We're actually going to be more prepared for the next step because we're having this opportunity to explore around our subjects with our teachers and delve into ideas that we would never have had the chance to before. I have been thinking over the last few weeks, quite often actually, about what I'd be doing if our A-levels were still going ahead, revising most likely, I'm sure. And I'm certain that I would not have had the chance to be in the garden and read all I have and watched as many television series and found the countless variations you can do with quizzes with your friends. It's incredible. So in that respect, this time has brought us this opportunity to just explore our interests and grow our friendships and look and see what really matters to us. We've been given this time to use, and it's down to our doing what we do with it, and that's scary but also really exciting to be able to just know that the day is your day and you can do with it what you would like and what you do with it, and when you look back at the end of the day and think, okay, that's what I like to do, is very special. But I also think this time has given us a great opportunity to think about our future as we move forward. Our next step will come. It may be different to what we were expecting, but it will come. And I think the way to prepare for that the best we can is to think about that next step. Think about, is that for me? Is that what I want to do? What can I do to get ready for it? And then when it does happen, we can move forward with real confidence and real clarity of mind and real determination that, yeah, this is really what I want to do. And I think the school and I think our friends, I think everyone is really supporting us all, and I think we're going to be able to do it. And that's why I think it's very important that we remain really optimistic and really proactive in our decisions, because they are important and we are going to be making the next step soon. I really am looking forward to when we will be together again as a year group, and I hope it's soon. But until then, I hope you stay safe and well. Bye-bye.
Putting together a few words on the reflection of my time at Truro School might possibly be one of the hardest tasks I've ever been set, and that includes the NEA computer science project that appears to be no longer valid. It is so difficult to sum up the roller coaster of a journey it has been for us all, not only in sixth form for me, but from the very beginning in first year for the most of you. However, I will try to my best to summarise my experience and hope that you might share a laugh, a smile, and maybe a slight tear for the emotional among us. How do we measure our time at Truro School? At the start, we measured it class by class, day by day, counting down to the holidays. Those days became weeks, then became terms, and like that, lower sixth was gone and perhaps the countdown to exams began, although this possibly started earlier for some of you with your colour-coded timetables. We've measured it in terms and years, and we have grown up into young adults, but I know I will measure my time here in a different way. I'll measure in terms of the lifelong friendships I've made, the unforgettable memories I have, and the times we have shared together. For those of us taking part in drama productions, the unforgettable West Side Story, talent shows, and being a part of choristers when they performed in Britain's Got Talent and made the whole school proud, competing in sports teams ranging from netball to rugby, and competing in weekly features supported by friends cheering you on. While it might seem that we went to school to learn lessons in the classroom, our greatest lessons were the ones that we learned from each other. Moving into the boarding house was quite a shock to the system. You end up eating an undeniably large amount of toast. I certainly will not be missing the 6:30 a.m. fire drills, but I will definitely won't forget when the fire alarm went off mysteriously at 2 a.m. in the morning, and the entirety of the boarding house huddling outside the uniform shop in our dressing gown and pyjamas, waiting for the firemen or firewomen to turn up, only to find out it was triggered by a sensor in Meg's room. Truly iconic moments are different for all of us. For some, it might be the Christmas party or the after party of the Christmas party. For others, it might be the rugby tour. For me, I shall never forget heading out to Slovenia with the gold DLE clang, walking kilometre after kilometre, seeing great mountain landscapes and trekking through forests. The time spent in camp are the ones I treasure the most. The absolute chaos of trying to put up the tent before the rain set in, and James Grimshaw trying to scare away the bears with some sort of special clanging bell. If I'm not in a classroom, then you'll probably find me in the gym. It is remarkable how much equipment they are able to fit in such a small space. Who else has experienced the gym floor shaking when one of the lads dropped the weights from height, just to let everyone know they were lifting heavy, or thought they were lifting heavy anyway? Davey and Tom spending more time flexing than lifting, and I have spent a lot of time racing up to the gym, trying to get to the squat rack before Harathan, Otherwise, I'd be waiting for half an hour for him to do his 5 for 5. Or arguing with Ben over deadlift technique. It's a straight back, by the way. And while I like to wind them up, I have learnt an odd thing or two from them, and I hope that we are all coping at home, deadlifting the sofa or carrying the bags of shopping. I started instructing spin classes in October, covering Mr. Wally's usual Friday fitness lunchtime club. Monday lunchtimes were soon filled by Dance Fit and Tuesday's Box Fit, and thus the Sexy Ladies Club began. During these classes was where my friendships truly strengthened. My business wear took a slight hit though, as tights were swapped with bright, colourful leggings with luminous blue trainers. I thought I was blending in, but who was I kidding? I would like to say thank you to all the teachers for being inspiring, sticking by us and encouraging us when the option to give up seemed like the only option. To our form tutors that saw us before our morning coffee set in, or didn't see us at all for that matter. Our head of years for keeping us up on the UCAS deadlines, and more so keeping us informed as possible and providing support in recent times. The catering team for keeping us well fed, and the cleaning staff who always made the sixth form shipshape day after day. The Rev as well for helping us through more difficult times and always having a jar of jelly beans ready to share. Perhaps some of us are looking at school closing quite drastically in this way as sad and heartbreaking, but it was always going to be sad. Saying goodbye and experiencing this ending was never going to be easy, although there might be a few among us who are elated that their school days are over. We are going through such a unique experience. While year groups in the past and year groups in the future will share a similar story, we will have our own tale to tell. Not only us, but everyone everywhere has a newfound gratitude for their family and friends, building a strong sense of community from inside our houses. Our community is spread right across the globe, from North Carolina to Hong Kong, and now we are closer than ever before going through the same experience. There have been tough times before, but above everything as a year group we've always persevered when we've needed to most, and I've always made the most fun out of everything that has been thrown our way. We have overcome our fears and risen above challenges, and our largest fears carries our greatest growth. We have no idea what the future holds for us, all of the teachers included. We might be going on to universities, apprenticeships, jobs, gap years, etc. The list of opportunities are endless. Who knows what lies ahead of us? Some will become doctors, authors, or poets. Others will become astronauts, sailors, or even Red Bull athletes. We do not know what is in store, and when I say good luck, it feels like we are all being sent off to the Hunger Games of life. What we do know is that we have the strength and determination to reach our goals, whatever they may be. We will overcome the obstacles as we have done before to reach our own success in the future. Thank you.
And now we turn to the scriptures as we hear firstly from the book of Joshua as it is read to us by Mrs. Ellison.
The first reading is from Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 to 9. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord spoke to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, "My servant Moses is dead. Now proceed to cross the Jordan, you and all this people, into the land that I am giving to them, to the Israelites. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, I have given to you, as I promised to Moses. From the wilderness and the Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, to the great sea in the west, shall be your territory. No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not fail you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous, for you shall put this people in possession of the land that I swore to their ancestors to give to them. Only be strong and very courageous, being careful to act in accordance with all the law that my servant Moses commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right hand or to the left, so that you may be successful wherever you go. This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth. You shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to act in accordance with all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous, and then you shall be successful. I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
The Gospel lesson is read to us by Dr. Orchard.
And from Luke chapter 9, verses 1 to 6. Then Jesus called the 12 together and gave them power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases. And he sent them out to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal. He said to them, take nothing for your journey, no staff, nor bag, nor bread, nor money, not even an extra tunic. Whatever house you enter, stay there and leave from there. Wherever they do not welcome you, as you are leaving that town, shake the dust off your feet as testimony against them. They departed and went through the villages, bringing the good news and curing diseases everywhere.
Thank you to Mrs. Ellison and Dr. Orchard. All my bags are packed. There's a song, all my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. Sadly, due to the coronavirus and the lockdown, we had to pack our bags and head home a little too soon. Nevertheless, the service today does give us an opportunity to say farewell. I hope somehow we can create an online farewell graffiti wall or something like that to hear all the goodbyes or to see them all. As you do leave Truro School, you're entering into a new world. Maybe not the world you were expecting and excitedly looking forward to, or the world in which we were expecting to let you loose. It'll be different. It's worth giving some thought to what you might put into your suitcase or backpack as you go out on your post-school journey. In the Gospel lesson, Jesus told his disciples to travel light. No stick, no beggar's bag, no food, no money, no extra, even an extra shirt. They were to rely on God's kindness, or God's goodness, and the kindness of the people they went to. They departed and went through the villages, bringing good news. They were good news people and curing diseases. And when they returned, we read later, they returned with great excitement and great joy. I suspect travelling light is probably always a good option. No more than one wheelie suitcase, girls, and a backpack. So you've got at least one hand free to do whatever else you need to do along the way. But what do we take with us as we head out? Here are some suggestions. Firstly, I guess something to help you find the right direction for you. Some time back I read a quote from Simon Garfield's book, On the Map, and this is what he wrote. Sat-nav is military software for dummies. You turn it on, enter a postcode, and it tells you precisely how to get there turn by turn. It takes both fun and anguish out of driving, and the challenge and rewards out of maps. A large sheet map offers a perfect way to register where we have come from, where we are going, how we get there, where a sat-nav definitely doesn't. When we're looking at maps or on our dashboard or on phones as we walk, we tend not to look around or up as much as we might. It is now entirely possible to travel many hundreds of miles without having the faintest clue about how we got there. A victory for sat-nav, a loss for geography, history, navigation, maps, human communication, and the sense of being connected to the world around us. The challenge for all of us, I think, at the moment is to take time to sometimes look away from our computers, our iPads, our other mobile devices. As amazing as those things are and as wonderful they've been, we need to stop sometimes and just look up. Where have we come from? Where are we now? Where are we heading? You have completed your schooling at a school high on the hill that has held on firmly to certain core values since it was opened over 125 years ago. It's coming again, Mr. Williamson. Esse convidere, being rather than seeming to be. I have no doubt that in time you will come to realize, maybe even far more so than now, how important that really is, to be true to who you are. You are who you are due to your parents, family, friends, and mentors. Just remember, we do know you. I did think about putting out all the pictures in the pews, as we said. I saw that in an Italian church where the priest had put all his congregation out in picture form. But we decided we weren't going to do that with all that paper and that printing. But I did pick up my picture book, but battered, with pupil photographs. They were taken some time ago for some of you. But we know you. We know you. And as I look through the pictures, I see those who hung out in the gym pushing iron, but also chewing the fat. Davey, Josh, Cody and Zoe come to mind. The musicians, Henry, Harry, James, the choristers, Gracie and Tallulah, and those who have been singing in the service. Inventors like Sean, actors and public debaters, Monty, Holly, Guy, and all the company that was with them. Artists, Dan, Megan, Clemmy, and many others. Those who helped with charity collections and charity days. Alex, Bimini, James B, Daisy. Those who spent much time on D&V, and 10 tours, Eve, Eddie, Oliver, Ethan, and again many others. The sportsmen and women, Dougie, Leanne, Victoria, Ben, Harris, Ilya, Jack, Molly. The people from overseas, Anthony, Tulip, Abum, Reese, Vlad, Winky, and Finley. Finley, of course, representing overseas the Isles of Scilly. And then I was looking too, and I saw some other faces in the book. Those who I always find quite easily in the cafe. Dylan, Hugo, Henry, and there were a couple of others. Henry in particular, because Henry was once caught drinking coffee during a chapel service, and his punishment was to bring me coffee. He hasn't always got it right, but I'm hoping at some stage it will continue. Secondly, pack the ability to act with integrity, to be comfortable in your own skin, able to lay your head on the pillow each night with a clear conscience, having a keen sense of morality and knowing the difference between what is right and what is wrong. And I'd encourage you to avoid the modern day nonsense of relativism for the philosophers. It's not all dependent on what I think. You've often been reminded by word and example of the important values of standing for truth, honour and justice. Not only knowing what is right, but doing what is right. Walking the walk and not just talking the talk. Do what you have to do, what is required of you, and don't be afraid to get down to some hard work. Hold on to those things that are pure, lovely, and honourable. Hold on to those values that really aren't open for debate. A key value that you have learnt and carry in your suitcase or backpack is that people will always be more important than things. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying don't follow a career, earn enough money to look after yourself and your family, but don't make that the be-all and end-all. Thirdly, take with you an openness to experiencing and learning new things. We can compare notes, but it's very similar. One of the key emphases in Methodist institutions is the importance of lifelong learning. I recall only too well how when I started out on my degree studies that I knew most, if not all, the answers. Year 2, I discovered that some of my solutions to life's challenges and questions were maybe not that convincing. When I graduated, I realized how little I actually knew. John Wesley said this, "When I was young, I was sure of everything. In a few years, having been mistaken 1,000 times, I was not half so sure of most things as I was before. At present, I'm hardly sure of anything but what God has revealed to me." Now, I've got to get a De Gruchy quote in here, and this is from an uncle of mine, a theologian in South Africa, and he writes this: "The coronavirus pandemic is forcing us to think again about what the new normal should be. Not the normal we have come to take for granted. What norms should guide our lives and determine the way in which we live together as societies, nations, and the global community? We are always in need of a new and better normal, and maybe that will be at least one consequence of this beastly pandemic. But we cannot take that for granted. After all, the struggle for a better normal has been going on for a long time, as the Old Testament prophets and Jesus remind us. It is not a struggle to go back to what was normal, but the ongoing struggle for a just world, a just country, a just society, a sustainable planet, and therefore a world at peace. Our values and roots make us part of that struggle for a better normal." I definitely didn't compare notes. Pack enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is an interesting ingredient in any person's life. It energizes, it empowers, it provides the impetus for people to face and overcome obstacles and challenges. Enthusiasm is contagious and draws in other people. It often leaves a smile on a person's face. And you have experienced that enthusiasm in so many different ways, in sports coaches, music teachers, subject teachers. And if you think for a moment, maybe a person will come to mind. Ralph Waldo Emerson said this: "Enthusiasm is one of the most powerful engines of success. When you do a thing, do it with all your might. Put your whole soul into it. Stamp it with your own personality. Be active, be energetic, be enthusiastic and faithful, and you will accomplish your object." Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. I do love this word. The word enthusiasm has its root in 2 Greek words, en theos, or in God. To regain and sustain enthusiasm, one needs from time to time to stop and be quiet, to listen and to be re-energized. So the last thing that I'm going to ask you to think about putting into your backpack or suitcase is godly confidence and courage. As Joshua took over from Moses and headed out into a new, unknown and somewhat scary territory, hear the encouragement he received. "As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not fail you or forsake you. Be strong and courageous." And again, only be strong and courageous. Be careful to act in accordance with all the law that my servant Moses commanded you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, so that you may be successful wherever you go. And again, I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Hopefully, as you pick up your suitcase or your backpack, things. They're not very heavy weight-wise, but they're very important. You'll know who you are to some extent, where you come from, but also know to whom you belong. Of course, you are ours as Truronians, and we don't really want to let you go. And we will follow your progress and journey with interest, and hopefully also hear of your progress from time to time. And as the psalm that Maisie read underlines, ultimately, there's no doubt in whose hands our lives are held. Of course, it is sad to go from a place where you've been loved and valued, maybe come through struggles and challenges and gain lifelong friendships. But don't leave without these valuable items in your luggage. A sense of direction, the ability to act with integrity, an openness to learning new things, enthusiasm, and confidence because God goes with you and remains with you as you travel on. Amen. Before we go to our final prayers in the benediction, we're going to sing the hymn, I vow to thee my country, all earthly things above. Now let us pray. Lord, today we come to give you thanks for the lives of those who have completed their schooling at Truro School. We give thanks for each person and their unique personalities, strengths and abilities. We give thanks for their contribution to the life of the school and would pray that you go with them as they go out to face the various new challenges and opportunities that will come their way. Protect them from any harm and guide them into full and satisfying lives. Give to all of us, O Lord, a sense of what values are most important, an awareness of the true priorities. To our teachers and parents, may we offer gratitude and affection. to our friends loyalty and comradeship, to ourselves the determination to produce the best of which we are capable, and to thee sincere worship and unceasing service. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.